Greetings, SciFiction fans. My name is Owen C. Cotter. You're watching SciFiction simulcasting on YouTube, X, Twitch, Facebook, and if you're listening to this on Subspace Radio Network, thank you. We'll be airing in a week or two, so stay tuned for all awesomeness. We will be bringing you an amazing guest here shortly for the next 5-10 minutes. His name is none other than David Sobolov. So let me go over a little bit of his website here before we bring him on. Everybody's having a beautiful Wednesday coming up almost on the weekend. So we're going to be having some goodies. Here's the voices of David Sobolov. David Sobolov has done many things over the years, many voices that you may know and some you may not know, including Transformers, Bumblebee, Beast Wars, One Piece, the famous anime, Ben 10. He's worked for DC and Marvel, including Guardians of the Galaxy, The Flash, Halo Wars, you name it. Some of his newer projects, which we'll get into. Lots of stuff. There's some demos. This is a site. If you ever want to go to the site, go to Sobolov.com. Gives a little bit of information. He also does coaching, which lets him talk about that as well. It's been a while since we've had David on the show, so I'm really looking forward to talking with him about some of his upcoming and newer projects. He's kind of picking his brain on his viewpoints on the different voices and things he's done, all kind of things. I'm going to go over right quick. We just updated the site again. A lot of new news items that we have been posting. I think they just posted a big gauntlet of stuff on here. So let's go over that right quick. If you're going to be joining us today in today's broadcast, my name is Owen C. Cotter, and you are watching SciFiction on all simulcasting channels, including Subspace Radio Network, which this will be aired as well on that broadcast. SciFiction, if you're not followed our YouTube page, go to YouTube and follow it at SciFiction Official. No dashes or underscores, just at SciFiction Official. We're on TikTok and X at SciFiction and Facebook at SciFiction COM. Not SciFiction, but COM at the end of SciFiction. So no dashes, underscores in it. Here's your news items. Fallout 4 10th anniversary has a new edition and stability patch has arrived for its 10th anniversary. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Kurt Russell Godzilla series, season 2 is coming out on Apple TV Plus and heads to Skull Island. There's an article about that. To boldly go back, the Dungeons and Dragons filmmakers are now tapped for a new Star Trek movie. Very interesting. Happiest place on Fortnite, Disneyland game rushes delivers authentic theme park thrills. It includes Star Wars as well. So if you're a Star Wars fan, that's in there too, which I am as well. December Stream Fest, your favorite sci-fi watch list for the holidays. And then last but not least, which I think we mentioned this in the previous broadcast, I'll be back later. Terminator 2D No Fate delayed again till December 12th. I think it's something to do with product creation or something like that. So go check that out. Also, we have some other items for video games, like 5 best anime series inspired by Star Wars. It's a really cool article. I'll be posting that on socials here soon. And just tons of goodies. Lots of updates on things we're going to be involved in over this next 6 to 12 months. Tons of stuff we've got on the pipeline for everybody to take part in, including some events. Without getting the gauntlet of like the 8 or 9 events we've almost got completely fully locked down, there's been a few events that have popped up and some new projects which you can't mention and some new collaborations which we still can't mention. But there's a lot of good stuff coming on the pipeline that we're going to provide for you, the fans, as our friends at IFB always say, fans fuel the fleet. Speaking of IFB, we just got back from Las Vegas, Nevada from 2 events. One was Shockfest Adventure Exit Strategy, which is the last Shockfest Adventure Sci-Fi Fantasy Horror Documentary Animation Festival they will ever have, that I can tell. And our friends at IFB, Pete won the best sci-fi film for The Tower Protocol Resurrection. Really cool short. You got to check it out. And it's 20 years later. It's an amazing film. You got to check it out. We also got to go a little bit. Let me bring this up on the screen right quick while we're there. Just bringing over some of the photos real quick. Let's be easier to show it with this. Let's see. We have not done our big photo dump, which we'll be doing probably today early in the morning. There's a ton of stuff. We've got interviews, videos, podcasts, you name it. I also talked to a really cool guy while I'm bringing this up. He has a cool cyberpunk sci-fi animated, it's a comic book. He has action figures, but it's really dope ones, super cool ones too. And he's pushing for an animated film. So I got to get some more information on that. I'll tell you more about that as it's posted on the site. We'll mention that. But I met him over at DesignerCon and tons of other individuals that are amazing, such as This individual here, Unk, he's a fashion and jewelry and pop culture designer who has actually has stuff he's made for Steve Harvey, Nicki Minaj, you name it. He's done it. Super cool guy. Highly recommend checking out his work. ONCH is, I just Google that or go to Instagram and check that out. Also, we got these cool like retro 8-bit, 16-bit Ninja Turtle toys, figurine sculptures, and they're like video game versions. And I was wanting to pull Donatello, and I pulled Donatello. There'll be a video of that here soon, shortly on SciFiction, our TikTok, Facebook, and stuff. We also got this. Now, here's something cool. Saturday Morning Cards had an extensive booth down there, which he also did an interview with the gentleman that does all the two of them, Crease and PJ. PJ does the comic cards for Rocketeer, Phantom, and Dick Tracy. Well, Crease does a lot of stuff with Goosebumps, which is pretty cool for the trading cards. This is a Louis Vuitton Rocketeer helmet, which I thought was really super cool. This is another critter called Scumpit Toys or something like that. And this is their take on their creations of like the Skull Mountain from He-Man, like Skeletor, and this is a Mecha Neck and some creatures, and they come in these. It's like a diet. They make these. They got a whole Instagram page, so I would highly recommend checking them out. Then that's a Hoth. There's somebody. That's pretty much it on that. We do have a few other photos though on here, which we're going to be dumping. Like I said, there's a big photo dump. That actually is a pretty cool meme. This is some guy on an airplane, but he says this cloud looks like an Anak attacking the Rebel Hoth base. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of interview stuff. We've done a lot of stuff. This is, by the way, yesterday and today. Yesterday we did an interview with Timo Warren Sola and actress Liza from the new sci-fi, biopunk sci-fi film called Altered, starring Tom Felton. That interview is live on our live section on YouTube as well as here on Facebook and X and like Twitch. And then we also did, that's the announcement for that. This morning I conducted a Zoom pre-recorded, or recorded rather, interview, which we'll be uploading here today and tomorrow on socials with Richard Brake, who was the dad. He played Tom Felton's dad in Altered, and a super cool guy too. He's zoomed in from London. And I don't know if you know this or not, and maybe you do. Star Wars fans definitely probably will. Mandalorian season 2, when Bill Burr's character and him and Mando break into that Imperial like base or compound. Remember that guy that Bill Burr's character blasts, and then it causes all the alarms to go off. They have to blast off in the Slave One and Boba Fett, and they drop that big seismic charge. Well, the guy he blasts is none other than Richard Brake. So we talked a little bit about the Mandalorian season 2 on that. That was pretty cool. I know you look familiar. I'm like, wait, that's your character? He's like, yes. I'm like, wow, very cool. So he's a cool dude, very cool gentleman, very awesome. About a minute or two, I think we'll be bringing on here shortly David Sobolov. David Sobolov, me and him have had many conversations over the years. It's been a little quick minute. I think the last time that we had him on the show, my late friend who's passed away, Brian Held Jr. of Weekend Geek radio show, The Weekend Geek on WRNO 99.5 out of New Orleans Parish, big geek radio channel. He was the co-host. He passed away, but we had him on, and I got him, and me and him did a do-off. We got him on the radio. I got him on my show, and we had a really beautiful time talking with him on about all the stuff he's done. But that was, man, it's coming up on 8 or 9 years or something like that. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about in this next broadcast here. He's done a lot of things since then. I think the last thing we talked about, it was Gorilla Grodd, but then that was a while back when the Flash series ended. And you've got, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. He's probably done more games, more goodies, more animation, you name it. So he'll be able to tell us more than I would, because he's done an extensive amount of work over the last 30, 40. I know he's done everything since forever. He even did the voice of the cartoon RoboCop, which was pretty cool if you think about that, because I'm a big RoboCop fan, and Buckaroo Banzai too. So there you go. This is our Facebook page. You can follow that. It's at SciFiction COM. That's the Facebook page. Also, we have YouTube, X, Twitch. We're looking to get more followers on YouTube. YouTube is so hard to get followers. As you see, our predominant traffic's on Facebook. We're a little over 235,000. We also have TikTok. We just broke 41,000. We thank you, the fans, for that. I was just very honored to have over 40,000. We're trying to get to 50 and then maybe 100 one day. If we can ever get this thing up to 500,000, I mean, a million's great, but 500,000 would be amazing too. So far, want to mention one quick thing before we bring David on the show. We have a new section. If you go up top right of the site, there's about, but click down, click sponsor. I'll show you the new about section too. It's pretty cool. But this is if you are an event, an actor, any production company, anybody that wants a publisher to get the word out about your awesome projects. This is if you want to sponsor, advertise with us. We reach conservatively 115,000 monthly visitors with 331,000 social followers across the board. Our audience is 65.8% US based, with a core demographic of men ages 25 to 44. Sweet spot, perfect spot for you people that know older sci-fi and newer sci-fi. See placements and starter rates on our one-page media kit, which is below. You can click this blue hyperlink to download it to your phone or to whatever to look at more thoroughly. Placements and starting rates. It's not going to get too much in the sales pitch, but sell me this pen. Homepage banner. It's premium real estate, $500 per month. Sponsored article, $250, $500. That's if you want to do a big write-up and I get everybody to just put something real sweet and I can recycle it. Facebook branded post, $200 to $500 per post. TikTok, this is kind of cool for like sci-fi publishers, and some people have been kind of poking at being interested in that. $150, but if you're doing $350 per video, that depends on how long it is and how much we pump it. Newsletter placement, pretty reasonable, $75. It's a big thing, $250 per. And then custom bundles. If you really want to get some bang for your buck, and custom bundles is where to go. We can work a deal. All this will be included, and you could be one of our premier sponsors. What we basically do with these funds is we create all this cool content that you see, fun trips, events, different audio and video equipment and softwares we use to bring all this cool content to you, the fans. So like this. This all was created with technical people that need to be paid, including editors and videographers and event costs. So there's that. I'll go into that more in depth later. If you want to hit me up, PM me or DM me on Facebook, or just contact the site at SciFiction, go into your contact, click that, bloop, and it goes to this form. You type in your name, your last name, your email, your subject, type a little message, click submit. But just remember, you don't need to open all hailing frequencies on all channels. Fill out this form to establish a secure communication link with the bridge of the SciFiction Starship. There you go. So there's that. We're going to be bringing David Sobolov on here shortly, waiting for him to join. For people that are just joining this broadcast here on all socials, including X, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Subspace Radio Network, my name is Owen C. Cotter, well, that way. And we are simulcasting right now. If you want to follow our YouTube channel is SciFiction Official. Also, if you like cool science fiction merch, including high-end sci-fi lightsaber props, you name it, Men in Black blasters, ray guns, props, sculptures, go to our Shopify at scifiction.myshopify.com, or go to the site on SciFiction and just go to the site and click shop, and they'll shoot you to that page and link you up to that. We have all kind of goodies. We're also going to be creating another storefront for more vintage items, which I've not released that information, but now you know. So there you go. I'm going to bring the chat window up here. If anybody wants to ask, David Sobolov will be joining us here shortly, asking questions. He's in a ton of your favorite franchises from Marvel, DC, anime, video games, One Piece, big topic there. Ben 10, Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon series, spanning many decades of many awesome franchises and beyond. Also, if you want to ever get him on as a project, I'd highly recommend it. His voice is felt gold, better than mine, and he's really good at doing voice work. So check out his resume. His site is, bring up his site real quick, Sobolov.com. That's SOBOLOV.com. This is his site. It's got examples of his work, his demos, voice acting reels, you name it. And he also does, I believe, acting coach as well. And it's super cool that he does that, because a lot of actors these days have no idea how to get into the voice world for voice acting and beyond. So I thought that was really cool when I first heard that he was doing that and has the that kind of a coaching class or whatever. So that's cool. His IMDb's up there as well on the top. Follow him on there as well. If you're an actor, you may not know his work, but if you're joining this broadcast, feel free to check it out. Ask questions. You can see this broadcast, hear this broadcast on Subspace Radio Network. Feel free to ask questions. For people that don't know what Subspace Radio Network is, I'm going to bring that up real quick because that's important. Because we got a contract with them where we broadcast on Subspace Radio Network. So let me bring this up real quick on the digital awesomeness. We're going to replace screen sharing, and we're going to go to the Federation. The Federation is the longest-running International Federation of Trekkers, is the longest-running fan club, but more importantly, is a charity foundation, 501c3. providing assistance during emergencies, a lot of charity philanthropic endeavors rooted in the Roddenberry philosophy, which Russ Hasledge and Gene Roddenberry had a call many years ago. And Roddenberry basically said that the overall mission is to help go places and help people, just like the Starship Enterprise does and all the missions that they do. And they're a proud fan organization, and our history and mission makes us unique in the fandom community. But beyond that, beyond all the charity and awesome work they do, they also have SkyCon, which the convention was pretty cool. They do too. Subspace, Dare to Wonder. You can find this on Alexa. Just tell your Alexa to play Subspace Radio, or Google Play Store, Apple App Store, Desktop Player. You know, there's the page here. Here is the show listings. There's a lot of other shows on here, including the TARDIS Travel Guide. These are some of the feature shows. Mark Who 42, the award-winning Doctor Who podcast. Of course, SciFiction Radio, Into the Paranormal and Beyond. This usually airs on Wednesday evening at, let me get this back here on the galactic grid here. It airs on Wednesday evening at SciFiction Radio, 7 p.m. CST, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. This episode tonight that airs at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, will have actually none other than Dan Curry, who's the legendary visual effects artist for many of the Star Trek series. He did the intro to Top Gun, worked on Indiana Jones, you name it. So he's going to be the guest this week. Next week, we're going to have another guest. We've got guests lined up pretty much for the next 6 weeks. So stay tuned. Amazing guests coming to Subspace Dare to Wonder on the Subspace Awesomeness Network. So David will be on here as well, as we've got Timo and Eliza from yesterday. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST, 3 p.m. Eastern, we will have a really cool guest on as well. Her name is Nisi from Sci-Fi Wars. You're not familiar with Sci-Fi Wars, go to Sci-Fi Wars, type it in Instagram. She does a really cool sci-fi special effects makeup, aliens, monsters, you name it. The big Halloween contest, which is really cool. She's going to be on talking about her new season, all the stuff they do with the Sci-Fi Wars, and everything like that. Been sitting here for a while now, creating content for everybody, you the fans. Backs are in a little bit, we're rocking and rolling. Subspace is an amazing platform. If you have a show, by the way, that you'd like to pitch to Subspace Radio Network, feel free to pitch this, anything that you can do. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I just had to talk to one of my assistants here in the office. They're taking care of some special work for you, the fans. So basically what we need to do is, if you have a show, where that's what I was getting to, that you'd like to pitch the Subspace, feel free to contact Subspace or the Federation. They have a Facebook page, so the Subspace, they have a Facebook page as well. And pitch your show, because they're looking for even more sci-fi and pop culture and awesome content. They do a little bit of everything, pop culture, paranormal, kind of like stuff like Coast to Coast does, UFO stuff, you name it, and beyond. It's absolutely incredible what they do. And check it out. The radio station is live, and it's going to be live all day long, 24-hour radio station. So check that out. Let's share screen sharing and stop screen sharing. Whoa, we're back here on the air. Waiting for David to join us here. Got all kind of goodies and beyond going on SciFiction. Let's go over some of the events. So not this month. We just covered 2, including Designer Con and Shockfest Film Festival. But we also have hold on just a second. Let me get him a link here. Got to get him a link. I think David needs a link, a magical link. Let me get him the link. Just 1 second here. Let me do this. While we are standing by on all subspace frequencies, we will be coming to you. Let me get this right here. We're about to bring on David here, so hold tight. Get him the link. Reply. I think I sent it, but it might have got buried in the emails. People joining us, my name is Owen C. Cotter. You are listening to SciFiction Radio and SciFiction simulcasting on all channels, every single channel. Well, except for TikTok, because TikTok's API is not allowed in the U.S. to stream via API, but everything else is good. You know, I was kind of wondering if the U.S. is going to buy Talk soon. I don't know if they'll buy Talk, but if they do, call it Talk, like it's abbreviates, like it's his nickname. But yeah, if they buy TikTok, that'd be absolutely amazing. I know the servers, I believe, are based in Dallas, Texas. I think Oracle or somebody runs them. So maybe Ellison's people can buy it up, and then we can have an amazing, um, you know, new US based social network. And I would recommend getting stock in that, because if that brings over, it's going to shoot up in price. It's Facebook and Meta and X and all that. Of course, X is owned by Elon Musk. I think he bought it a few years back. And you've got, of course, Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and then you've got, of course, Snapchat. Actually, I went to a restaurant where they were having their uh, party where they celebrated their IPO launch for initial public offering for Snapchat, or whatever their formation of the company. I was like, wow, this is interesting. But yeah, the social media terrain. Let's go into that for a brief second. We're waiting on David. Uh, Social media is like the next. Like, you've got all these YouTube stars and YouTube people. I found out how YouTube actually works. So if you want to know how YouTube works, here's how YouTube works. Not Facebook, but YouTube. So you got all these channels. Back in the day, you create a bunch of content, you get a bunch of followers. Your channel blows up and it becomes vastly popular, right? Now it's only what you follow is what's recommended. And it's hard to be visible. The visibility levels low. Same thing on Facebook with the algorithm. So so there's that. But YouTube, most people don't know this, has their own studio, but they also have what's called YouTube celebrity management. Now, if you can get them to contact you, or you can get in contact with them, which would be absolutely amazing for science fiction, so we can provide some even more cool content. We could really get it to the next level. So if you know about it, YouTube, have them feel free to email us or contact the site at SciFiction, or DM us, PM us on Facebook, wherever. Because anyone that gets access to YouTube celebrity management, I'm going to leave a little Cliff Notes version of this and let you know a little insider nougat. If they choose to verify and activate your account, once you're verified, you get an agent, and that agent will then, through YouTube, take your show to the next stars. Now, what we have that's unique, in my opinion, and you respect whoever else's as well, but my opinion is a foundation to build something even bigger. So we want to bring all kind of cool quality content to you, fans. Speaking of quality content, in the Quantum Leap waiting room is none other than David Sobolov. Let me bring him on here.
Hello, hello, hello.
Greetings. How is your afternoon? Or I guess it's like about 2 p.m. your time, right?
Very good. Yeah, I was trying to get to you desperately, but here I made it through. I
It's
found
all good. We're
where
talking to
you
the
are.
fans here. I saw you on the com link there, and I had to get you the link there. So I'm glad you're on. I love your backdrop, by the way. That's absolutely
Oh,
amazing.
thanks. Yeah, all my Funko Pops
Yeah, we got a
and
studio
some.
we're putting together. We just got to get the shelves back here and all the stuff decked out too.
I also like to feature my fan gifts too. I got to show you this one thing. Let me pull this
I
down.
see what you got. Yeah.
This this fellow. Let me get this up in the camera here. Where's the camera? Can you? I can't see my camera. Yeah, see this guy?
Yes.
This fan 3D printed this for me and
Are you
hand
serious?
painted it. That's
Wow,
Kaido. Isn't that great?
that is awesome.
All articulated. Wow, it's so generous of them.
That's very cool. They paint it too, or how
Yeah,
do they?
that's all hand painted all the way along.
Oh wow.
Amazing. So
We
kind.
got we got all kind of got Transformers back there too.
Oh yeah, different characters I played over the years. They're all here.
You done like Blitzwing. You did Bumblebee. You've done what else have you done back there?
What have I got here? Got Gorilla Grodd from The Flash.
There you go.
Yeah, I have Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. I have a little bit of Volibear from League of Legends.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's
all
that
sorts of
little
stuff.
sketch back there with the blue ink on the little red border? What is that?
This one or this one?
The one to the left, right next to Drax.
This one?
No, no,
That
no.
one.
It's like a little like illustration or something with like a red border on it.
Yeah, my camera's not showing my whole screen, so I can't see what you're seeing.
It's all good. It's like in a frame or something, I think.
Huh. This one over here?
No,
Do you
right
see me
next to
pointing? This one.
that one. Yeah, what is
Oh,
that?
that's awesome. That a little kid made that for me. A 5-year-old kid made that for me because he at the time when that show was on. This is for Shockwave with Transformers Prime,
Very cool. So you got a
and
whole bunch of goodies, people.
yeah, sure, yeah. I just keep the stuff that really speaks to me. People are so generous, giving me things almost every week when I go out. I
That's
can't
cool.
just
What kind
really
of
display
events
them all.
you've been doing? A lot of events. What kind of stuff you've been up to recently?
Well, I was over in Australia for
Okay,
Supernova, and I was in New Zealand for Armageddon.
Armageddon.
And
Okay,
next, I'm going to Planet Anime in Kansas City this weekend.
okay, yeah. That's a big one. You've done a lot of anime and video games too. I believe I was looking at your IMDb. You've done some new games. There's some new games and projects you've got that you're currently working on as well.
Yeah, well, they don't let us talk about that. I got a big one
Well,
going now, but we can't talk about it until it comes out.
right.
Unfortunately, that's a really makes for a really boring interview. You can't talk about what you're doing, but
All good.
it's funny on camera
Yeah.
actors. They want you to say everything, but voiceover now.
True, that's true. But you've done some games over the last couple of years, because I think the last time we had you on the show has been a quick minute. I was telling the fans, my late friend Brian Held Jr. of the Weekend Geek in New Orleans
Mm-hmm.
has passed away a few years ago, and that
Mm-hmm.
was the last time I believe we talked. And I went through a little bit of stuff myself. I didn't die, thank goodness, but we're back. We've been working for the last. It's coming up on the fifth year of the 5-year mission. Star
Mm-hmm.
Trek reference.
Oh,
We're
great.
getting ready, ramping up on SciFiction, so I was like, man, I got to bring you on to talk, because I've had people say that they wanted to hear you back on the air, especially myself as well. So,
Oh, thanks. Well, thanks for having me.
no problem. You've got a lot of stuff. Your career spans many decades, and you've also done not only just cartoons, anime, and video games. You do coaching as well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I work with beginners and advanced people. I'm just working on acting technique. I studied with a teacher named Sanford Meisner many years ago at the
Okay,
Neighborhood Playhouse. So I kind of apply Meisner technique to animation and video games.
very cool. And
I do
you,
privately over Zoom.
so that's based in LA, or where is that based out
Yeah,
of?
but you can be anywhere. I've had students in Sweden, Australia, all over the place.
Cool.
As
And
long as you can
all,
figure out the time difference, you're good.
yeah. So yeah, time difference is always like we're scheduling these interviews. You have 2 hours difference, 17 hours difference. London, and China, wherever, Brazil.
It's
I've had
hard to
people
figure
coming all
out.
the way from like Finland, anywhere, man.
Yeah, it's great.
So I gotta ask, all the voice work you've done over the years, is there like some guiding like words you could give I know it's kind of hard to get into the industry now, and you've got, of course, coaching, which is a very
Mhm.
valuable tool.
Yeah.
Something you could kind of tell people based on your experience and all these awesome voices and different acting that you've done.
Just be ready for opportunity. Learn your craft. Learn how to act.
Yeah,
It's not about doing funny voices.
that's true.
It's about telling the story and drawing you in with your humanity, and
Yeah,
just learning acting technique.
yeah.
Once you're kind of comfortable performing in public, it's
Hmm.
really good to have like a possibility of doing characters that are bigger than life.
Yeah.
Much easier to direct someone doing something big than something small.
Hmm.
And then just you'll be ready then. If you don't do the training, you don't do the work, you
Yeah.
might get the call. And you can find people that'll open a door for you, but you have to walk through it, so to speak.
The film world, you've done so much. Transformers is hugely popular. I was just curious,
Mm.
was there any particular shows that you were a fan of as a kid or growing up that really kind of like, like, wow, that's really cool? And like, I know you got the old Looney Tune stuff. We think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, that was really my main thing when I was a kid. That and Star Trek.
Okay, it's Trek. Now I got to ask, have you seen any of the new Trek? And if not, what is your favorite old Trek?
Not a lot. The original OG, Star
Hmm.
Trek in the '60s, of course. Deep Space Nine was nice too.
Good.
But yeah, I've, I've done a few roles in Star Trek, not a ton, but enough.
Which
It's
ones have
funny.
you done that people may know you from? I'm curious.
The original Gorn, the big
Hmm.
fight that he has in the
Yeah.
'60s. They brought him back for Star Trek Enterprise, and I was his voice.
Really? That was you? I didn't know that from my In a Mirror Darkly part one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that
okay.
was me.
Very
That was 2005, and then I did one of the newer series
mhm.
a couple years ago. It's probably still running. It's a very very small part though, and I was also into what was it called? Star Trek, something into darkness. What was that movie they did?
Yeah, it was the second one, I think, of Chris Pine, Into Darkness, yeah,
Yeah,
with Connor.
I played Cleons in that.
Okay. Now, that was a cool scene, like, when they went to that planet and, Benjamin Cumberbatch's character carved him up. How was that?
Well, my understanding from what we did was it was me and Fred Tatasciore. That was it, and we had the originator of the Klingon language with us, who was
Okay.
really exciting, kind of showing us because it's a language you have to do it exactly right. I don't know if anyone knows its expression. You have to be kind of older to get it, but
Yeah.
it's Charo coming to America. The singer Charo came from Spain. She didn't know English at all. She was just singing. They would just like say the words, and
Right.
she would say the words back, and that's really what it was in Klingon. He would explain what it was in English, and we get the right intention and all that. But he was helping me with all the pronunciations. Well, I think what happened at the end was they took Fred Tatasciore, I believe, for the voice in the ship that was
Mhm.
approaching the planet. And on the
Yeah.
planet, there was something like 26 lines. And I
Mm.
think I think I played them all at the end of the day.
Oh wow.
Uh, but the 26 lines, they didn't. That we had it all written so that it's exactly to the scene, to the moment in the scene, and they really only took about 6 lines and kept recycling them. I don't know why they did that. That's
So
what
you
they ended
just
up doing.
took those and just recycled them up.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
that's
That's
what I
very
believe happened.
reason I was asking about Star Trek is this so there's two things Trek related. This broadcast airs on Subspace Radio Network, which is part of the Trek, the Federation
Oh, great,
International Federation of Trekkers. Yes, and they do a lot of charity work and really cool stuff. So we're happy to be partnered with them.
that's
And
great.
also Roddenberry and those guys, they're awesome as well. We love their podcast. There's so much good Trek goodness. We have a lot of fans of Trek, so I figured I'd ask that. You've done some work with Star Wars, maybe too. I don't know.
A little bit. What was that video game? It was released along with the Oculus headset when it first came out.
Vader
Vader Immortal.
Mortal.
Yeah,
Yeah, they debuted
yeah. I think
Star Wars Celebration.
yeah, it's a pretty big role in that, but I can't remember what it was called. Black Knight. It's similar to the one I did in Fortnite. Similar name.
Mhm.
Very dark and creepy role. It was fun.
It's a cool. You just like you put on the VR headset, you can throw the lightsaber and catch it back, and it's badass game. I've tried played it. It's really cool. The speaking of VR, you've done some. Is there any other VR projects or any AR projects you've
That's
done?
the only one that I know of that I've done virtual
Did you
reality.
do you like VR? Have you tried VR and any other
I
things?
have. I kind of think. I think augmented reality is probably going to win out at the end of the day because it's just a little dangerous. Unless you're in a padded room that's empty.
Right.
I can imagine people do this in their living room and trip over their coffee table and
Yeah.
split their heads open. I would when I've been playing it, I kind of want to be in a separate room. I never am.
Well, I got to tell you, I actually was able to last or winter go to and get in one of the only full haptic VR
Oh
systems.
wow.
Yeah, it was like my friend runs it, so it's in a place called the Innovation Portal down in Alabama on the Gulf Coast.
Hmm.
Really cool place. But you get in, you put on the glasses, you have the things, and then they you time travel. There's like a guy that looks like an archaeologist, and this big door up. Feel the wind.
Hmm.
You look up and there's like a 90 something foot tall brontosaurus. You can feel his foot stomping on the ground. Then the time portal closes and you go into like a little VR elevator and you're going down, push the button, ding. Next thing you know, you're in a carnival and there's a big mothership with like Mars attacks and shit
Wow.
going down. They design all these games. So you can get in there and I'm holding the VR trophy as I'm looking at my wife and I'm holding this and this and that. So it's all designed for gaming. So there's a new one. I think there's like a pirate ship or something you're inside of. They're working on this.
Okay. Well, if you're in a haptic suit, do they
Yeah.
limit the time so you don't go insane, or do you just stay in there
I
as long
mean,
as
you
you
can
want?
go in there as long as you want. I was in there for about 45 minutes, but I'm like, I mean, it's addictive, man. It's like it's so
Hmm.
fun, man. Oh man,
Was it hard to get back to reality when you finished?
yeah. I wanted to go back. I was like, I had almost a holodeck addiction there for a second.
It's awesome.
It's super cool, man. They have like 12 games or something. They're working on the pirate ship next. I was
Hmm.
talking to their programmer down there for that, and he's excited. They're trying to get the little bugs out and some of the programming code and all that. But yeah,
That's great. You know,
they
you
may
asked.
need some voices too.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Always nice when they give me a call for whatever.
Yeah.
I think you were mentioning current things. I did a game called Date Everything, which a lot of people seem to like.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sci-fi thing at all, but well, I guess it's kind of sci-fi. You go into a house. You go into a house and put on these special glasses, and you can turn objects into human.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty sci-fi.
Well, he made that movie, They Live with Roddy Piper. You put on the glasses and you can see that they're an alien. So, yeah,
Huh? Maybe it was based on that. Who knows?
maybe so. I don't know.
Hmm.
Actually, I saw this guy over in, we just got back from Designer Con. If you've ever been to that
Hmm.
out in Las
No, I
Vegas.
haven't.
Oh, I think it's their 20th anniversary. This guy is he does creations like masks, like rubber masks,
Hmm.
also like special effects. And it was like the alien head from, the aliens from They Live, but the forehead and the head had a screen in it. And the head would say, stay asleep, conform, procreate, all the stuff it said in the movie. I'm like, wow, it's all LED. And he had another one that had a little screen that was made it look like a hologram of his head spinning around inside this little action figure. I was like, man, so he custom makes all this wild stuff, man. I'm like, yeah. So he can make. He
There's
said I
some
can make.
amazing artists out there.
Yeah, the whole event was based on like art and pop culture and fandom and design. So I thought that
Hmm.
was very cool.
Yeah.
You can check that one out if you recall. You definitely go to that one. It's in Las Vegas. It's amazing. And Ben and that gentleman, they run a very good event. Thanks, Karina, too, for having us last minute. But we did that, and that was a lot of fun. But I was going to ask you, what are some of your upcoming events you're going to be at coming up over the next few months?
Well, let's see.
It's in
It's
Kansas.
hard to know. It's hard to know what's been announced. I know I have one. I'll just say where they are. I won't say what they
Mhm.
are because I don't know what's been announced. But after the Kansas one, I am in Dallas the
Okay.
third week of January.
Okay. What's
Um,
that one? Dallas Fan Expo? Which one?
I can't tell you. It hasn't been announced yet. I'm not really
You have
sure.
to email me about that one because I'm about 5, 6 hours. I'm in Laredo, Texas, so
Oh,
I'm not
okay. You're not too far
too
from
far.
that.
Yeah, not
I'm
too far.
pulling out my list here. Let's see what else is going on. Something around Seattle in early February,
Okay.
and then I've got a few things in here. They're so unannounced. I can't even say what city they're in. But there's another one in May in Fresno, California.
Okay.
I've got something in July in Hartford, Connecticut,
Okay.
and then Detroit, Michigan, August 27th weekend.
Mhm.
So there's others, but those are about the only ones I can say anything about.
Do you have anything in June? Any big predominant stuff in June? Is the reason I
Let's
asked.
see. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a buddy. He's a super cool dude. His name's Michael Havens. He runs a pop culture, sci-fi, a little bit of everything,
Hmm.
Star Wars, everything. It's in Nashville and Murfreesboro, Tennessee,
Oh,
in
that's
June.
cool.
Yeah, he's got some cool guests. There are a lot of retro '80s sci-fi, a little bit of everything. But I don't know if he has any Transformers or any voice actors. But I know
Well,
that there's going to be some '80s and retro people there. My friends are going to be there as well. They're actually the artists, writers, and story for He-Man Masters Universe and She-Ra.
hmm
So they're having the big 40th anniversary She-Ra and the He-Man stuff this year. So they're going to be there.
looking
And
at my secret notes of the possible cons, there's
yeah,
nothing in June, so I'd probably
yeah.
be available as of now.
I'll get you in touch with them, as that would be amazing. I think they have a lot of '80s and '90s and retro, and also do a lot of acting, like voice actors. But I think you'd be a
Hmm.
great person down there, and they give you a whole big stage and a panel. And last year they had all the actors because of the anniversary for Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja
Hmm.
Turtles movie. So they're kind of doing a big tour now across the. I think they're going to be in New Orleans in January for the Fan Expo down there, I believe.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. You've been to the Fan Expos? They're always fun.
I did a fan expo in Toronto,
Mhm.
and I did the anime after dark. There were a ton of people attending, to be honest, in
Yeah, it's always fun.
Denver. But the one in Toronto was great, so hopefully I'll do more.
We got back. We've been covering so many, like it's all a blur, man. We're doing two, sometimes three or four a month. We did San Diego Comic Con is always the big crown jewel, and
Hmm.
you got New York Comic Con. We're going to probably do next year, hopefully. And
I
we've
need to
got.
go there. I've been there for 3 years in a row, I think.
Oh, I love San Diego. Yeah, I love San Diego.
No, New York.
Oh, New York. I got to ask a question about New York. I've never been to New York as a company. It's supposedly big, like maybe equal, if not in some kind of capacity, a little bit bigger than San Diego.
It's now bigger than San Diego Comic Con
Okay.
because the convention center in San Diego had a restriction. They couldn't
Mhm.
go above some, and they've reached capacity, so
Yeah.
they can't sell any more tickets. And I think New York was 20 or 30,000 more than San Diego this year.
I just can imagine. I mean, just like I think record numbers are in a couple 100,000 or something like that down at Comic Con, and you go down, you go down the gas lamp. It's like shoulder to shoulder, but it's all cool. You got all the cool people in costumes and everything, and
Yeah,
they
it's
got all
fun.
the hotels are assimilated with all kind of cool panels, and they had a really interesting. This flies like I think it's a robot buzzing around.
Hmm.
But they have this year they had Dan Aykroyd was there debuting his new comic book.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a Blues Brothers comic book. It's really, really cool. And they had him and his daughter. This thing was packed, probably like 2,000, 3,000 people. Wasn't Hall H. It was in the Hilton Bayfront over the bay. There's a
Hmm.
big ballroom in there, and it was a field of people, man. And this guy dressed up as a Blues Brother comes, and I couldn't even believe. I was like, wow, I'm surprised they let him do this. He
Hmm.
brings up there. He talks to Dan Aykroyd from the podium and asks if he can do the rendition of Soul Man or whatever. Dun, dun, dun. And they let him sing, and Dan's going back and forth until they cut the mic, and it was done. But supposedly his dad or uncle or something's a famous, guy that worked with David Bowie or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess Dan Aykroyd was like, "Yeah, let him do it," and they're just like combining, singing back and forth, and people were going crazy, man.
Well,
But
that sounds fun.
yeah, it was amazing. We did I did a panel on Godzilla, the history of Godzilla and the Godzilla universe, which is all. We're going to do the new panel and flip the coin over with all the female Godzilla and all the male Godzilla, hopefully this year.
I wonder if my little Godzilla figure is somewhere I can see it. Let's see.
Oh, I love Godzilla. Yeah.
It's buried somewhere. Way, 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 way back in the 80s. I was
Mhm.
living in New York City, and there was a video store, and they were having the first video release of Godzilla,
Oh, okay.
and they issued little toys to go along with it.
Mhm. Those
This
can
little
be
this
weird.
little thing spits fire. It's cute.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, when it has one of those old flints, from a
Yeah.
lighter, you have to replace it every once in a while. But yeah, it's
That
pretty
that that
cool.
came with the VHS or the tape or whatever?
It was sort of sold as a promotion alongside. You could
Mhm.
buy it separately. Hey, I want to show
That's
you another fan gift. These fan gifts are so cool.
yeah, let's see what you
This
get.
is another 3D printed item. This is from One Piece,
Okay.
the transponder.
Ooh,
Look how nice
transponder.
that is.
That's
That's
very
all hand painted and 3D printed. That took some work.
that's a lot of work. Yeah, wow.
I was really impressed with that. And this is my favorite character in One Piece.
It's very cool.
The telephone that turns into your face.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, we went down to the back this past year, the Universal Fan Fest nights that was down over
Hmm.
at Universal outside LA, and One Piece was featured there, and I think it was One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen were the two featured animes. And we went on the Paramount had the bridge of the Starship Enterprise, the
Oh
Enterprise
yeah, wow.
that was screen used from Picard season 3,
Hmm.
and there was a guy in full One Piece costume, and we posted the video on socials. This guy's like, man, I really respect this guy in the One Piece. I don't think the guy knew that One Piece was featured at that. I think he just thought it was Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome. But we went on the press for that. Have you ever been on any kind of sets like? And you were in Star Trek Into Darkness, but
There was no set, but that was interesting because we did that at Bad Robot,
okay.
the production studio. And when you're doing a voice toward the end of production, the
Hmm.
visuals may not be done yet. And
Hmm.
if you saw Star Trek Into Darkness
Yes.
at the level that I saw it, when it wasn't really put together yet. All the stuff, all the Klingon stuff, the stuff on the ship, none of what you saw, the control panel and the screen, all that was there. And it really looked like a high school production because it was like cardboard, and then, they put something on top of that. It was kind of
That's
fun to see it at that level.
yeah, like the Picard season 3 bridge is insane. Like the amount of detail that the Akutas and all the consultants did on that is quite impressive. And we went on there day one. I think the studio head was right next to us on that because he had the tour to give like his thoughts on it and everything. And then we went over to the this is cool. You like Back to the Future?
Yeah, sure, it's great.
Yeah, so this is kind of cool. So they don't open the back lot up often at Universal, but they had the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future was this year. So it opened up
Hmm.
the entire back lot, and they had all this Times Square with the time
Oh
clock.
yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's that. But one of the coolest things was about a month or so before after that, the very first um, full cast of Back to the Future. And I don't mean just the full
Hmm.
cast. I mean every single person from the
Everybody.
principal. Huey Lewis was there on the panel over at Fan Expo in Orleans last January, and uh, some fans may know this, some people do. I actually put in a bid to moderate that panel, and I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. I
Hmm.
love that. I know all the stuff, and I
Was
thought,
Michael J. Fox there too?
yes, everyone,
Wow.
Biff, Tom Wilson, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Huey Lewis. The thing that got me, two or three things. One, they didn't interact at all with Huey Lewis. He's like a music legend, 80s retro. You could have had some questions there for him. They just ignored him like the whole time.
You mean the audience did?
No, like the guy that was asking the questions.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, that's like, man, that's like a legend. And the other thing was a lot of inconsistencies. They called it 84 when the film came out. It was set in 85. It's not a movie, it's a trilogy. A lot of, it's like the guy, whoever's, I mean, nobody even knew who he was. I've never heard of this
Well,
guy.
you got to do your research if you're going to moderate with those big stars.
Of course, of course. I
And
had so many.
it was probably really tightly scripted. So
Yeah.
maybe he didn't know that Huey Lewis was even going to be there. So he never
No,
wrote
he
any
was
questions
announced. He
for him.
was announced on the site. But beyond Huey Lewis, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that people don't know. Like, for instance, Tom Wilson, who played Biff, is a pop culture artist. He paints. He does amazing artwork.
He's out a lot. You always see him at fan conventions.
Mm-hmm. And there's some really, but it was a cool panel. There's some hilarious moments, of course. But the third and one thing that really was sad was like for the first 15, 20 minutes, you couldn't even hear Michael J. Fox. They probably didn't do his live ears or any of his mics.
They have to really accommodate Michael. They want to make sure that you can hear every word. It's a shame they didn't do maybe the pre-check, the sound
Yeah, they
sound
should
check
have.
beforehand.
Should have had
Just out
two
of
live.
respect, it's too bad.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. I mean, we had an associate that we were down over at Fulton Lanes, was really cool. It's like a bowling alley and a restaurant and all this stuff down
Mhm.
in New Orleans. And he was there, and he said he saw Michael coming out. You know, he's got Parkinson's and stuff, but he said he was going out of his hotel down in New Orleans, and he's really nice and everything. But he's now signing for the fans. But I mean, everybody was down there, from Mayor Goldie Wilson to the principal. He's like 90 something years old. He's still down there. He's super cool too. I mean, I was like, wow. But I was like, these conventions, I got to ask. You've been to a lot of those as well. What is it like? I
Yeah,
mean, you get all these gifts from the fans. What is it like? What does it mean to you for having all the fans like love all your work and everything?
I wouldn't have a job without them. So
Yeah,
I really respect them, and I just love to honor what they love, because there's always rivalries and stuff. Oh,
of
DC's
course.
better, Marvel's better, Star Trek is better, Star Wars is
Star Wars
better.
is, no, it's all good.
Whatever, you know what? Whatever you love, just love it, and come to a fan convention where no one's going to judge you for who you are,
Yes,
and just
yes,
have fun. If that's somewhere where you feel safe, then and you'll be safe there. People will
yeah.
take care of you,
Oh, I
and
love
it's a
conventions. I
great
love,
little refuge for the world.
yeah. It's like kind of like almost like I go to these conventions and like the last day, it kind of winds down. I'm like, oh, man, it's sad. It's getting over. Man, it's fly. It's like a robot. I think it's programmed, man. It's on steroids. But it's like the last day is kind of sad because, it's winding down. Everybody's going away and they won't be back till next year, some of them, yada, yada. I remember going to one, I think it's the one we actually met at in
Hmm.
2013. It was at a Kamikaze Expo.
Oh
And they
yeah, that's the predecessor to LA Comic Con.
Yeah, and we went down there, and they had that video game museum, which is really cool, as you can play all the retro games and everything.
Hmm.
And I'm like sitting there thinking, oh man, this is sad because everything was there. You had the Screen Use Ghostbuster car, you had the Knight Rider, Lion Forge, Toy Nami. It was like candy store of everything. I'm like, man, this is sad, man. I can't come back to like next year or whatever. I was like, man, dude, and that was cool. Man, yeah, everybody was there. Weird Al Yankovic was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he borrowed some tape from me.
Oh, he did. He's supposedly super cool dude too.
The one time I met them. Yeah, it's great meeting celebrities just in that context, because you're
Yeah.
behind backstage.
Right. You been to any of the mentioned New York Comic Con at Reed Pop? Have you been to the Star Wars celebration, or have you ever heard they're going to do that in
I'm
LA, and the 50th is going to be, I think, in
I've
LA.
never been to one. I always felt kind of the stuff I did in Star Trek was pretty minor. But who knows? I know some people go out to conventions if they've done one line in something.
Yeah, Star Wars we're going to be 50 years. Star Trek will be 60 years this coming year. That is, man, that franchise has been going strong like the little wagon train to the stars that could. I
I
got to
was
ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was at Dragon Con for the 50th anniversary,
Yeah.
and although I've not done a lot, especially then, I hadn't done much Star Trek.
Mhm.
The one photo I do have showing the Klingons and the Gorn as
Mhm.
sort of a split. I've never had so many people come to the table for that in my life, because it was the anniversary and all the completists. You know what the
Yeah.
word completist means?
No.
Completist is someone who is a fan of a certain franchise and they want a signature of everyone who's ever touched it.
Mm.
Everyone on the crew,
I
all
mean,
the
like
voice
complete
actors,
all signatures.
and you can never get everybody,
Mm.
but you can try.
Try. Got to catch them all like Pokemon.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
I got to ask, you've done so many work, you've got the conventions and all the goodies. These anniversaries come and go, and these different films and franchises. What if you had to sum it up? Everything you do, what is the overall, like? Not I want to say message, but I guess your thoughts on what it is you do to give back to the fans. What do you love about your work? What is it that you strive to deliver?
Well, it's kind of a few different questions in there, but what
Yeah,
do I give back to the
that's it.
fans?
Yeah,
I just love having them come and tell me their stories and tell me what they're passionate about. Sometimes they'll bring something from an obscure project I don't even remember doing, or
mhm.
something that I really love, like Kaijudo is a series I really love,
I
and
remember.
nobody ever asks about it. But once in a while, somebody will ask about it, be really excited, or I'll get a what was it? Devil's Cartel. What was that called? Army of Two, Devil's Cartel. I
Devil's
did
Cartel.
I
Yeah,
did a couple of those, and people will cosplay as the character that I was, and you only ever see it like once a year.
yeah,
So
it's
it's
a
kind
very
of
rare
special
one.
special when you see it.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of people. They'll see something you do. You may not remember it, but maybe the thing that is close to their heart the most, like could be a video game voice, an anime voice, or something you did maybe like for instance, a lot of people may know, but some people may not know. You did the voice of the cartoon RoboCop. See, there you go.
Yeah, in 1998, 99. Yeah, it was. But RoboCop that year was funny. It was a humorous
Yeah,
RoboCop,
very
which
cool.
wasn't really existing before.
Have
And
you seen the GIF where it spins the gun real fast? The animated GIF on the
oh yeah, I've seen that. The thing is with that show, they put it on at 2:30 in the afternoon. It was
Mhm.
a syndicated show where no child could ever see it.
No, it's here at school.
Because everyone's at school. So not a lot of people in the States know it. In Canada, I think they had it on at a different time. Because
Yeah.
when I went to Fan Expo Canada, I had all these RoboCop fans,
Oh wow.
but you don't get many in the States.
No, you don't. I mean, I know Peter Weller. He's getting older. We talked with him last year, and he's a super cool guy, man. But he's, amount of people
Mm-hmm.
know this. He's an accoladed professor in real life.
Oh, didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He's a genius, man. Talking with him for 4 or 5 minutes is like talking with a Rhodes Scholar, man. That was absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But RoboCop. I mean, speaking of that, I mean, you got a little bit of everything you've done in your work. I got to ask if there's one wrapping up one film or television or thing you would love to be a part of that you've never done. What would that be? Something maybe from your childhood or something from you?
Maybe playing Batman would be cool.
Ah, very cool. That's my favorite, man. But since we forget, that's the back of my phone case is Batman.
There you go.
Yeah. So you read a lot of comics. Was that like your favorite comic or?
I never read comics. I was not a comic person. Um, no, it was one of the things I watched when I was little. I was a little bit past that time, but the live action Batman had just been on.
Yeah.
When I was
Talking about like
really
Adam West or
was a
the
baby. Oh
Michael
yeah,
Keaton.
those live action ones
Yeah.
from the '60s. That was always fun because it was goofy. I like goofy
It's
stuff.
hilarious. It's cool though. I mean, the storytelling was solid. You had like it was kind of like he was like they took Detective Comics DC, made it into a series that was palatable for all ages, but still
Hmm.
had a cool story and awesome visuals. I mean, it's that pop, that '60s pop, like they did with the original Star Trek and
Hmm.
beyond and all that. So I thought that
That
was
was
really.
awesome.
For wrapping up, we got about 1 minute before we have to
Okay.
do some space for the audio. Is there any websites or things you'd like to shout out or anything like that?
Well, for me, you can find me at Sobolov.com,
Okay.
but I'm not updating that much. The main place to find me is on Instagram, and
Insta.
it's at David_Sobolov.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, David. I might have to get you in touch with a few of my buddies at some of these events. I'm sure they'd love to
That
have
would
you.
be great. That'd be
No
great. I
problem.
appreciate that, and thanks for having me on.
No problem, brother. You have a beautiful evening, okay?
You too. All the best.